All right, Kevin Stefanski talked about the importance of playing time in the final preseason game for everybody, but especially guys that are on that fight to make the 53-man roster.
I think there's still decisions to be made. I think we've tried to use every minute we have to evaluate our players. So this is another opportunity for us to look at our guys in a game setting. So yeah, I still think their job's up for grabs.
So is the lasting impression the strongest?
It shouldn't be. Yeah, it shouldn't be. It's a body of work.
And again, you kind of balance what you see in preseason and what you see every day, because preseason is preseason. But where are some battles that you think still have some things to be determined, if you will?
I honestly, I think for the most part, this roster is mostly set. I think some of the stuff you're looking at is more ancillary down the depth chart a little bit. So, you talk about the receiver position. I certainly think we're all kind of going into this third preseason game wanting to see a little bit more from a guy like Anthony Schwartz and find out where exactly he fits, or if he fits in this roster, in their wide receiver rotation. David Bell likely going to start again. Or get playing time again this weekend, and it'll be the second time we get a chance to see him. So that's certainly a room you're paying attention to. We talked right off the rip here about the defensive tackle position, and I'm still curious to kind of see how some of those rotations are going to work out, because I think we kind of know, Taven Bryan is going to be is slotted right now as one of the starters along that group, and a guy who's poised for a solid season. I think they have high hopes for Jordan Elliott having a breakout year. But what are we going to see behind those guys? Perrion Winfrey has some high expectations. Tommy Togiai in his second year, trying to see him maybe progress a little bit. I think for the most part, you can kind of go up and down this roster and realize who's going to be where, especially on the defensive side and the secondary and along that defensive line. But I'm definitely looking down the depth chart a little bit to see who falls into place as, your second and third string defensive tackles, your wide receivers. What rotation is that going to look like? Even tight end behind Harrison Bryant, because obviously we know David Njoku, Harrison Bryant, the top two guys there, but kind of how that shakes out behind them. And obviously I think we're all watching to see what happens at the quarterback position now that Jacoby Brissett's going to take meaningful snaps for the first time as well. So that'll be something to keep an eye on in this game. But for it's kind of odd, right? Because for so many years with the Browns, we were going into this last preseason game when it used to be 4, now 3, and talking about, well, this position battle and that position battle. When you have a good team like the Browns roster's constructed right now, a lot of this stuff you kind of already know going in, and it really is just, finding the missing pieces of the puzzle that are going to give you the depth that hopefully help you make a playoff run. So it's a little bit different setup with the Browns in recent years than we were used to, I guess, the 2 previous decades before that. But it's a good